Warriors, George here to do a first impressional talking bit on Pokemon Rumble World for the Nintendo 3DS. So, if you recall, oh god, how long has it been? 2 months or something like that ago? I talked about Pokemon Shuffle, or Pokemon Battle Shuffle, whatever the fuck that thing was called. And I really did not like it. And not just because it was a freemium game, but because it was a freemium game in a lot of the worst senses. Even though it had a lot of good elements to it, of course. Incorporating a lot of what made Pokemon really interesting by using the elemental systems into it, involving the Mega Evolutions and such and that. But at the core of it, the puzzle element just felt really lackluster and had no challenge to it whatsoever. So, when I heard that there was this another freemium game involving Pokemon coming out on the 3DS, I was just, oh no, guys, stop it. Pokemon Shuffle wasn't good. This is probably not gonna. It's not gonna get. No, don't. No. But of course, one, next to the fact it's free, and two, it's on the 3DS and stuff, and I'm also partially into the reviewing thing and talking about all this new shit. So I really did not have much of an excuse, especially considering it was free. It was only going to take up some space on my 3DS, which I have tons of. So I mean, I really don't have any excuse not to try the game, is what I'm trying to get at. So, I swallowed my stuff. Anyways, so I don't know where I was going with that. I was trying to make an analogy, but it wasn't working. So I go to the eShop, I download this game, and I'm just thinking oh god, how bad are they gonna screw this up? Because if I recall correctly, the last Pokemon Rumble game we had was the one that was on the Wii U, I believe, and that one wasn't all that great. It was very simplistic. It didn't have a lot going for it, other than the fact it had some pre-amiibo kind of ideas lingering around it, which we in Canada got fucked over because I never saw any of those figures whatsoever for Pokemon Rumble Wii U, and I was looking desperately for them because I really wanted them, but I couldn't find them, so I was really disappointed with that. And then on top of that, the game itself was just not all that great. So I was thinking, fuck, it's gonna be freemium. It's another Pokemon Rumble game. We haven't had a good Pokemon Rumble game really since the Wii version. That was just because how it laid everything out and stuff. So I turn the game on, I go to play it, and I have to be brutally honest here. I was fucking surprised at how much I enjoyed this game. I was going into this game with the worst mindset any critic could go into something with. I was going in there ready to just bash the fucking hell out of this game after fucking Pokemon Shuffle. So I go to play this, and I fucking love this game. It does. One of the things I love about this is it does free-to-play games right. And I know that's bizarre to say, what, free-to-play game done right? Yeah, it's insane. Freemium done how it should be done. Really. So, right off the bat, you do not have to pay a single cent throughout the entirety of this game. You could beat this game without paying a penny or a dime or whatever, which is amazing. And that's not even just, saying as a thing where it's oh, if you put so much time in this game, of course you can beat it without spending a single penny. I'm not, no. I literally mean, you could play this game and still thoroughly enjoy it without having to pay anything. Very rarely could you ever say that about free-to-play games or freemium games at all. So that is a huge plus. Congratulations, Nintendo and Pokemon and Game Freak and Creature Inc. You fucking... I know I'm harking on this a lot, but Pokemon Shuffle was really bad with its freemium, free-to-play concepts and how it literally was, you know, pushing you towards like, you got microtransactions, like, you gotta do it, yeah. But with this one, it's like, it's an option you can choose. You know, it doesn't feel like it's pushing you or forcing you into that decision of spending money towards something that's free to play. So that's just fantastic. Okay, so Pokemon Rumble. If you've never played a Pokemon Rumble game before, I really can't blame you. There's not a whole lot of them out there, and they don't really market Pokemon Rumble all that well, which is bizarre, because basically what it is you go around in these, like, toy Pokemon universe. It's a universe where Pokemon toys are alive, and they're about the size of a standard Pokemon. Up to the me, it's like around their waist area, so get like, you know, half the size of myself. If that makes any sense. So there are these toys, these toy version Pokemon, and you basically send them out to battle other Pokemon. So you it's kind of done in a very beat 'em up-esque style of sorts, or like kind of like a very simplistic dungeon based thing or something like that. I really don't know how to really describe it, but it's like on the tip of my tongue how to describe it. But I kind of want to say more like a beat 'em up-esque kind of thing in a 3D environment. So you go around, you can switch them out at any time amongst all of the Pokemon you've caught, which is really cool. And it's like, I mean, like, you could capture God knows how many. I mean, like, I'm not even at the limit amount of how many Pokemon I can have in my, like, captured entirely. Like, right now I can store up to 150 Pokemon, but you can continuously upgrade that to have more to it, and I'll get to that whole thing in a second. But, like, as far as I know, it has at least over 300 of the Pokemon, as far as I know, and considering, you know, they can constantly patch in, release updates for it, they can, you know, add the other God knows how many Pokemon there are. So that's really cool, and they do get a lot of them in it. It's not just a lot of the new ones from X and Y or something like that. I mean, they got ones from Hoenn region, they got the Kanto, the Johto, the Black and White-O, the Ruby Sapphire one. I think that was actually, that's Hento. So, but you know what I get, what I mean. They do include a lot of the Pokemon that you'll definitely recognize. You might even recognize who Scatbug is. No, you won't. So, you go around, you start off with one Pokemon, you start off with Pikachu, of course you do. I should actually explain where the story goes and kind of segues in that. So the story for this game, there is a story. Your me is enlisted by the king of this Pokemon toy land to get more Pokemon toys, like capture more Pokemon toys, so that way he can impress the evil magician who's kind of like, nah, I got, you know, more Pokemon than you. So the king's like, could you, you know, get more so we can just shut this guy up, because he's being a dick. So that's where it starts. You borrow his Pikachu to go and try and collect more Pokemon toys in this world. You right off the bat are given 25 Pokemon Diamonds or Poké Diamonds or whatever the hell the in-game currency is, or the one that you can purchase in-game currency. And you're given 25 of those. Right, you get to play a level without spending anything, which is really nice. But then after that, you have to use the Pokemon Diamonds, which you do collect quite a few of them throughout the game itself without having to spend anything. Like, you get it from, you know, facing off like in various challenges, or like having so many street passes, or having so many friends, you know, pass you, whatever. So like, there's a lot of opportunities there to collect more, and you use them primarily to unlock more levels, but you can use them to kind of upgrade your area, such as, you know, being able to store more Pokemon. Because right off the bat, you can only store 30 Pokemon. But of course, that's quite a bit. I've only caught 22 different Pokemon. That's the key word there. because you don't want to store the same Pokemon, obviously. And unlike other Pokemon games, the toys themselves do not level up. So you're basically like just keeping the stronger versions of those Pokemon, because those are the more useful ones, of course. So you can use, primarily you're using this just to get to more levels, which are all thematic. So like you got ones that are starting off with, you got like grass, water, and a fire region, which is a basic general thing. I mean, like you'll find a few other Pokemon, and like you'll find Pikachu in like the grass zones. So you'll find like bug ones and this ones and that. So like you'll find like a little bit of a mixture, but like primarily you got those, and then like you'll eventually be able to go and get like Hento ones based off of Ruby and Sapphire. There's Origin, which is Kento. There's White, Black. God, what were the other ones? Gold and Silver, of course. There's a couple of the other ones in there, but you catch the drift. The gist is what I'm trying to get at. So yeah, that's basically the game. So like you go around, you collect Pokemon, you switch them out, you try and like defeat Pokemon, and it's quite random whether or not you'll get Pokemon. I'm not entirely sure how the Rumble kind of thing works, but I think it's just like, it is fairly random, but there are definitely some things you can like unlock to try and get a better chance at some of them, especially like with like some of the bosses like mini bosses you'll face. They're technically bosses, but mini bosses that you'll face are a little harder to get compared to some of the smaller ones. So yeah. And each Pokemon has each toy Pokemon has a different attack, different power levels, so you kind of have to see which ones are better suited to what you want. I mean, like, stronger ones aren't always the best ones. Sometimes you'll like get a Pikachu that knows Tackle, but then you'll find a Pikachu that's like a tad bit weaker than that one, but it knows Thunderbolt, so like it's effective against water Pokemon and stuff like that, compared to the Tackle, which is a normal move. So that's really cool. They have a bit of a randomized element to it, but there's also the elemental elements in there, and there's also Mega Evolutions. I'm not entirely sure how those are used quite yet. So far, the only instance I've encountered them is with, you know, a Mega Alakazam as a boss, which I should mention. You'll eventually be challenged by the evil magician after you've caught 11 different species of Pokemon toys. I have to get used to saying Pokemon toys. 11 different species of Pokemon toys. Still sounds weird. And in the challenge, you don't really collect anything there. It's just you're trying to complete certain objectives. So it's like defeat the boss, beat the level in 150 seconds, break so many objects, and use a super effective move on one of them. So I mean, and then like if you complete each one, you'll get like some extra Poké Diamonds. So there's like an extra incentive to it. So that's really cool. It does reward you with the Pokemon Diamonds. So like once again, you necessarily don't have to spend any of your actual money for Poké Diamonds, because like they do provide them a frequently enough basis that you don't really have to invest in it. But if you were to, I found this out really interesting. But if you were to try and buy everything without first collecting any Poké Diamonds within the game, it would cost about $15 to $20 to unlock everything in the game. I'm just thinking, wow, that's about a standard how much this game probably would have cost if it wasn't freemium, or if it wasn't free to play and everything was just how it was. So I was like, okay, that's actually not that bad. You know, you're basically buying the content that you want to play, essentially. If that makes any sense. It might sound like, oh, that's just an excuse, but I mean, like, it's not that bad. And once again, that's only if you don't use any of the Poké Diamonds that you do gain within the game, because you gain quite a few within it, enough to unlock quite a bit of content to, you know, use. But regardless, if I were to be honest, because freemium games I really don't like because it's the kind of thing where like you're like, oh, I'll spend $1 here or $1 there. It's just a buck, and then it just ends up being, you know, $50 later kind of thing. I'm sure quite a few people know what I mean by that, but with this one, I wouldn't mind spending a bit of money on it to be completely honest. It's a good, fun, enjoyable game, which is a lot more than I could say for Pokemon Shuffle. I really enjoyed this. This is probably one of the best Pokemon Rumble games, for sure, and probably one of the best free-to-play games I've played. And I've played quite a few. And this one's just, it's more intriguing, it's more enjoyable, it's just overall a lot more fun than a lot of those out there. And I highly recommend even just downloading it, because it's free to begin with. You can give it a try, and like I said, you could literally play through the entirety of this game without spending a single dollar. So, that's good. Anything else I need to mention? Oh yeah, another thing I need to mention, because I didn't find this out without, you know, digging around, but the game actually has password-enabled stuff to it, much like some previous installments of Pokemon Rumble. Sorry. And they've already released Pokemon's already released 2 of them, for Smeargle and that panda Pokemon. That name completely loses me. I think it's like Pansett or something like Pengu, Pandaga. Yeah, so there's those, and they're just passwords. You can enter them after you hit rank 4, which really does not take that long. And you can get 2 extra Pokemon, and they're fairly powerful ones too. I was like, holy shit, that's pretty strong. I could use you guys earlier. And it seems like they're gonna release a lot more throughout the, I don't know, I guess probably within the year or so, like they did with previous installments of the series of Pokemon Rumble. So that's really cool, and honestly, I really do like this game. I really cannot stress that enough. Just because it's free to play, do not, you know, shy away from it. This is actually one of the better, much better free to play games that are available and are out there to begin with. So yeah, definitely give this a try. Pokemon Rumble World for the 3DS blew me away. I literally went into this game expecting to hate its guts and really not liking it and just going on a whole rampage during this thing, but I'm coming in with flying positive colors, which is great, because I've, maybe I had only one game this year that I've done one of these first impressions for that I really did not like. That was Pokemon Shuffle. So that's good. Yeah, with that all said and done, until next time, keep on gaming.